Welcome back to the Shigeaki Podcast, where science and longevity come together to help you feel stronger and live longer, one wise choice at a time. And I'm Dr. Mark Hyman, a physician passionate about helping people age with strength, vitality, and clarity. Let me start with a question that might surprise you. Have you ever thought that a so-called superfood like blueberries could actually make your health worse if you eat them the wrong way? Most of us have heard the glowing praise. Blueberries are everywhere in smoothies on oatmeal baked into muffins. They're celebrated as tiny powerhouses packed with antioxidants that protect the heart, sharpen the mind, and even fight aging. And all of that is true. But here's the twist. Not every way of eating blueberries brings those benefits. I want to share a story. One of my patients, Linda, is 72 years old. She loves blueberries. In fact, she eats them almost every day. She'll toss them into her cereal in the morning, add them to a yogurt parfait at lunch, and sometimes snack on a bowl while watching TV at night. On the surface, it looks like a healthy habit. But when she came to see me, something wasn't right. Her weight had crept up by 10 pounds in the past year. She was often bloated and uncomfortable after meals. And most concerning, her blood sugar readings were climbing into the pre-diabetic range. Linda was confused. She said, "Doctor, I thought blueberries were supposed to be good for me. How could they be making me feel worse?" That's where so many people go wrong. Blueberries are a nutrient-dense fruit, but they're not magic. Eaten in the wrong form, in the wrong amount, or combined with the wrong foods, they can lose their superfood power and even backfire. Instead of protecting your body, they can turn into what I call a sugar trap, fueling blood sugar, spikes, digestive distress, and hidden inflammation. And that's why we're here today. Because if someone like Linda, disciplined, health-conscious, and motivated, can stumble into these mistakes, anyone can. The good news is that the solution isn't to stop eating blueberries. It's simply to learn how to eat them wisely, especially after 60 when the body changes and becomes more sensitive. Before we get into the details, I want to bring in my friend and co-host, someone who has dedicated his life to understanding how daily choices shape longevity, Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara.
Hey, thank you, Mark. And hello to everyone listening. Blueberries are often seen as harmless, even medicinal, but the truth is more nuanced, especially as we age. After 60, our bodies process food very differently. Sugar is handled less efficiently. Fiber, which used to feel light, can sometimes feel heavy. And even the wonderful polyphenols in blueberries can be wasted if digestion isn't working smoothly. That's why this episode is so important. Blueberries are not the enemy. They are still one of the best gifts nature has given us, but they must be eaten with understanding. So today, we are going to share the 8 most common and dangerous mistakes people make with blueberries, mistakes that quietly rob you of their benefits or even harm your health. More importantly, we'll give you the simple corrections so you can keep enjoying blueberries while protecting your muscles, your heart, and your brain. By the end of this conversation, you'll know exactly how to avoid the sugar trap, how to combine blueberries with the right foods, and how to make them work for your body instead of against it.
So, stay with us. And before we dive in, if you or someone you love is over 60 and wants to keep their health strong, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this podcast. What you learned today could turn your morning bowl of fruit into a true tool for longevity.
Here's the first mistake I see all the time. People think if a little is good, then a lot must be better. So they buy a large box of blueberries and snack their way through the whole thing in one sitting. On the surface, it feels healthy. After all, it's fruit, not candy. But here's the truth. Blueberries still contain natural sugar, mainly fructose. When you eat a cup or two at once, your blood sugar can spike just like it would with soda or sweets. For someone over 60, that spike doesn't just come and go. It lingers, creating fatigue cravings and even contributing to insulin resistance over time. I've seen patients eat blueberries by the handful, only to wonder why their energy crashes in the afternoon or why their blood sugar readings look worse, not better. And let's not forget the digestive system. Too much fiber all at once can overload the gut, causing bloating and discomfort, instead of nourishment.
Yes, Shigeaki, and this is especially important for older adults. As we age, digestion naturally slows. The enzymes and stomach acids that once handled food quickly are no longer as strong. So, when a large amount of blueberries hits the system, the sugars and fibers can begin to ferment. That fermentation leads to gas pressure and a heavy, uncomfortable feeling in the belly. I have seen many seniors mistake this discomfort for something serious when in reality it was simply too many blueberries eaten too quickly. The body after 60 cannot process volume the way it once did. Moderation is not just a nice idea, it is essential for comfort and health.
The solution is simple and practical. Keep your serving size to about half a cup to 1 cup per day, and don't eat it all at once. Divide it into 2 smaller portions. For example, add a handful to your morning oatmeal and save another for an afternoon snack. This way your body absorbs the nutrients without being overwhelmed, and your blood sugar stays steady instead of swinging up and down. By treating blueberries as a daily accent instead of an all-you-can-eat buffet, you protect your digestion, your blood sugar, and still enjoy their powerful antioxidants every single day.
The second mistake is one of the most common pairing blueberries with sugar. Think about how most people enjoy them baked into pies, layered in pancakes, or cooked down into sweet jam. Even a bowl of fresh berries often gets sprinkled with sugar to bring out the flavor. But here's the catch: when you add sugar or pour syrup on top, you cancel out many of the anti-inflammatory benefits that make blueberries so special.
Blueberries are loaded with anthocyanins, powerful compounds that calm inflammation in blood vessels and protect the brain. But the moment you pair them with a sugary crust or drown them in syrup, the spike in blood glucose creates the exact opposite effect: inflammation. Instead of healing the body, that dessert-like combination places stress on your metabolism, joints, and heart.
Yes, and there is another layer to this problem. Excess sugar does not just raise blood glucose. It also increases the excretion of important minerals, like magnesium through urine. Magnesium is one of the body's key nutrients for muscle relaxation, nerve function, and energy production. Losing it too quickly sets the stage for cramps, weakness, and restless sleep. On top of that, chronic sugar intake fuels long-term inflammation. For older adults whose bodies are already more vulnerable, that means higher risks of arthritis flare-ups, memory decline, and cardiovascular stress. Many seniors believe they are eating healthy by choosing blueberry pie or jam, not realizing that the sugar hidden in those recipes is undoing the very protection they're hoping to gain.
The fix doesn't mean giving up blueberries altogether. It simply means returning to their natural state. Eat them fresh and whole, or blend them into a smoothie without added sugar. For a touch of sweetness, combine them with half a banana or a few dates rather than reaching for processed syrups. This way you preserve the fiber, antioxidants, and natural flavor without sabotaging your health. Blueberries are sweet enough on their own. When you enjoy them as nature intended, they truly deliver on their promise to protect your heart muscles and brain.
The third mistake is one that looks healthy on the surface but often causes hidden harm: relying on bottled blueberry juice. Walk into any supermarket and you'll see shelves of juices labeled 100% blueberry or antioxidant rich. The marketing makes them sound like medicine in a bottle. But here's the problem. Juice is not the same as the whole fruit. When blueberries are juiced and strained, the fiber is stripped away. What you're left with is concentrated sugar and water, with only part of the nutrients. A single glass of blueberry juice can contain more sugar than a can of soda. Without fiber to slow things down, that sugar rushes straight into your bloodstream. Instead of steady energy, you get a spike followed by a crash.
Exactly, Mark. And for older adults, the lack of fiber is a serious issue. Fiber is what keeps digestion steady and blood sugar under control. Without it, glucose is absorbed too quickly, forcing the body to release a surge of insulin. Over time, this weakens insulin sensitivity, increases fat storage, and raises the risk of type 2 diabetes. And there is another danger: many commercial juices are not pure at all. They're blended with cheaper fruit concentrates like apple or grape, which drive the sugar content even higher while diluting the very antioxidants you're paying for. Seniors drink these juices thinking they are protecting their heart and brain, but in reality, they may be adding fuel to cardiovascular stress.
The better choice is simple: eat the whole fruit. A cup of fresh or frozen blueberries delivers the fiber, antioxidants, and natural sweetness together in the right balance. If you enjoy drinks, blend them into a smoothie with leafy greens, nuts, or yogurt. This way, you keep the fiber intact and slow the release of sugar into your bloodstream. Blueberries are powerful, but only when consumed as nature intended. Skip the bottle and go back to the berry. Your heart, digestion, and energy levels will thank you.
Here's another mistake that seems harmless, but can have a major impact: eating blueberries together with refined white starches. Think about the common ways people enjoy them: blueberry muffins, pancakes topped with berries, or sweetbreads mixed with dried blueberries. The problem isn't the fruit itself, it's the company it keeps. White flour acts like sugar in the body. Combine that with the natural fructose from blueberries, and you get what I call a blood sugar bomb. For someone over 60 whose metabolism is already more fragile, that combination can send glucose soaring. You might feel energized at first, but within an hour or two, you crash. Over time, those constant swings drain your energy, affect your mood, and make it harder to maintain a healthy weight.
Yes, and let's look deeper. When white starch and fruit sugar hit the system at the same time, they create a sharp insulin spike. Insulin is supposed to move glucose into the cells, but when the spikes are repeated again and again, the cells stop responding. We call this insulin resistance. And insulin resistance is one of the main pathways leading to type 2 diabetes, weight gain around the belly, and even faster aging of blood vessels. Many older adults tell me they eat blueberry muffins for their health, not realizing that the refined flour cancels out much of the benefit. In fact, it quietly adds risk.
The solution is not to give up blueberries, but to pair them wisely. Instead of muffins or pastries, try adding them to a bowl of steel-cut oats or whole grain porridge. Mix them into plain Greek yogurt with a handful of nuts or seeds. These combinations provide protein, fiber, and healthy fats, which slow digestion and keep blood sugar steady. Blueberries shine brightest when they're part of a balanced meal. By swapping white starches for whole grains and protein, you transform them from a sugar spike into a true superfood that supports muscles, heart, and brain.
The fifth mistake is one I hear often: believing that only fresh blueberries are healthy. Many people assume that frozen fruit has lost its nutrients, that it's just a cheap substitute. But that's simply not true. In fact, frozen blueberries can sometimes be just as good or even better than the berries you buy fresh at the store. Why? Because most frozen blueberries are picked at peak ripeness and then frozen within hours, locking in their vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Meanwhile, those fresh berries you see on the shelf may have been picked days earlier, transported long distances, and stored in coolers. By the time they reach your plate, some of their delicate antioxidants may have already degraded.
Yes, Mark, and this is especially true for the compounds that give blueberries their deep blue-purple color, anthocyanins. These are the antioxidants responsible for reducing inflammation, protecting blood vessels, and supporting memory. Freezing preserves anthocyanins very well. That means a bag of frozen blueberries can deliver nearly the same, or sometimes even more, antioxidant value as berries that have been sitting on the counter for a week. And for older adults, frozen fruit also solves another problem: cost and convenience. Fresh blueberries can be expensive, especially out of season. They also spoil quickly, which means waste. But frozen berries are budget-friendly, available year-round, and easy to keep on hand. That makes it more likely you'll eat them consistently, which is the real key to long-term benefit.
So here's the takeaway: don't dismiss frozen blueberries. Add them straight into a smoothie, stir them into warm oatmeal, or let them thaw and mix with plain yogurt. You'll still get the fiber, the anthocyanins, and the natural sweetness without worrying about spoilage. Remember, the power of blueberries comes not from how fancy they look on the shelf, but from how regularly you enjoy them. Fresh or frozen, they can both be your ally in staying strong after 60.
Here's another common but often overlooked mistake: eating blueberries first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Blueberries are packed with natural acids, citric acid, malic acid, and others that give them their refreshing tang. For most people, that's not a problem, but for those with sensitive stomachs, especially older adults, those acids can irritate the stomach lining. Many of my patients tell me they love grabbing a handful of blueberries right after waking up, only to feel a burning sensation or mild nausea soon after. This isn't because blueberries are bad, but because the stomach is most vulnerable when completely empty. Without other foods to buffer the acids, the fruit can feel harsh, leading to discomfort instead of nourishment.
Yes, Shigeaki, and this is especially important for people over 60. As we age, the stomach lining often becomes thinner and more prone to inflammation. Conditions like gastritis or acid reflux are very common. Eating acidic fruits like blueberries on an empty stomach can worsen these issues, causing bloating cramps or that heavy sour feeling in the chest. I've met many seniors who assumed their discomfort was a sign of a serious illness, when in fact, it was just the timing of when they ate their fruit. The body after 60 needs gentler rhythms, not big shocks of acid first thing in the morning.
The solution is not to avoid blueberries, but to pair them wisely. Combine them with protein or healthy fats, which slow digestion and buffer the acids. For example, add blueberries to plain Greek yogurt, sprinkle them over a bowl of oatmeal with nuts, or blend them into a smoothie with almond milk. These combinations make the fruit easier on the stomach, while also keeping blood sugar steady. So remember, it's not only what you eat, but when and how you eat it. By avoiding blueberries on an empty stomach and enjoying them with other foods, you can protect your digestion and still unlock all of their powerful benefits.
Next, a mistake that surprises many people because both foods are healthy on their own. Blueberries and pineapple are each full of antioxidants, vitamins, and enzymes. But when eaten together, especially on an empty or sensitive stomach, they can cause real discomfort. Why? Because both are naturally acidic fruits. Blueberries contain citric and malic acid, while pineapple is especially high in citric acid and the enzyme bromelain. When you combine them in one meal, the acid load essentially doubles.
For a younger digestive system, this might not be a big deal, but after 60, stomach acid levels are often lower overall, and the lining of the stomach is more fragile. That means the combination can easily overwhelm digestion, leading to bloating, acid reflux, or even nausea. Some of my patients have described it as a sour burn in the chest after what they thought was a healthy fruit salad.
Yes, and this is a pattern I've also seen. Many seniors enjoy mixed fruit bowls or smoothies that combine blueberries and pineapple. They expect a refreshing boost, but end up with stomach pain instead. For older adults who already deal with gastritis or acid reflux, this pairing can make symptoms worse. Acid and enzymes working together in high amounts irritate the stomach lining and can trigger a flare-up of heartburn. It's important to remind people that healthy foods are not always healthy in every combination. The body needs balance, and certain pairings can tip that balance in the wrong direction.
The good news is you don't have to give up either fruit. You can still enjoy both, just not at the same time. Allow at least 40 to 60 minutes between eating blueberries and pineapple. That way your body has time to process one before tackling the other. For example, start your morning with a bowl of oatmeal topped with blueberries. Then enjoy fresh pineapple later in the day as a refreshing afternoon snack. By spacing them out, you avoid digestive distress and still get the full benefits of both fruits.
The last mistake is less about eating and more about storing. Blueberries are incredibly delicate. Their skin is thin, their nutrients are sensitive, and they spoil faster than most fruits. Many people don't realize that how you store blueberries can make the difference between a nutrient-packed superfood and a box of moldy berries that do more harm than good.
Research shows that when blueberries are stored poorly, for example, sealed tightly in a plastic bag, they can lose up to 40% of their vitamin C and antioxidants in just 48 hours. That means the very compounds you're counting on to protect your heart and brain are gone before you even get to eat them. Even worse mold can develop within 2 days in a warm, moist environment. Those molds don't just ruin the berries. They can release toxins that irritate the gut and may even worsen inflammation, especially in the joints.
Yes, and this is something older adults must be especially careful about. A younger digestive system may handle mild contamination more easily, but after 60, the immune system is slower to respond and the intestines are more sensitive. Eating moldy or spoiled fruit can lead to stomach upset diarrhea or painful flare-ups in those already struggling with arthritis or inflammatory conditions. I have seen patients who thought they were eating clean because they bought fresh blueberries every week, but in reality they were unknowingly consuming berries that had already lost much of their nutrition or developed early mold. The harm is quiet but real.
The solution is simple but requires attention. First, check your berries as soon as you bring them home and remove any that are soft or spoiled. Don't wash them before storing. Extra moisture speeds up mold. Instead, wait until just before eating to rinse them gently. Store your blueberries in a shallow, breathable container, like a glass dish or a container lined with paper towels, and keep them in the refrigerator uncovered so air can circulate. Handled this way, your blueberries will stay fresher, safer, and more nutritious for longer. That means you get the full benefit of their antioxidants without the hidden risks of poor storage.
As we wrap up today's episode, let's step back and remember the bigger picture. Blueberries are truly one of nature's gems, little blue pearls packed with antioxidants, vitamins, and fiber. But like any food, their benefits depend on how you eat them. If you fall into the traps, we've talked about eating too much at once, drowning them in sugar, relying on juice, mixing them with refined starches, ignoring frozen options, eating them on an empty stomach, pairing them poorly, or storing them the wrong way. You risk turning a superfood into a source of discomfort or even harm. The good news is that each of these mistakes is easy to fix. When you avoid them, blueberries can shine the way nature intended, calming inflammation, protecting your heart and brain, and keeping your muscles and joints strong as you age.
Yes, Mark. And here's the simple truth. You don't need to eat more, you just need to eat smarter. Half a cup to 1 cup of blueberries a day is enough to bring steady, powerful benefits. The secret is variety and balance. Combine them with other fruits, with leafy greens, with nuts, and yogurt. Let blueberries be part of a colorful, diverse plate. That's how you unlock their full potential. I want our listeners to remember health after 60 doesn't come from extremes. It comes from small, consistent choices made every day. And blueberries, when eaten the right way, can be one of those choices.
So now we want to hear from you. Like, subscribe, and share this podcast. If you or someone you love wants to keep a strong heart, a sharp mind, and a resilient body after 60. And tell us in the comments, have you ever made one of these 8 mistakes with blueberries? Which one surprised you the most? Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about awareness. The right food in the right way at the right time can be the foundation of a longer, stronger life.